I need you to sit with this for a second. Really sit with it. Your friends are the reason you're broke, not the economy, not your lack of opportunities, not bad luck. Your friends, the people you spend the most time with, are actively destroying your future. And the hardest part about this truth is that you already know it. You've felt it. You just haven't been willing to admit it out loud. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something that most people never figure out. He wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. If you're surrounded by broke people, you will stay broke. If you're surrounded by lazy people, you will stay lazy. If you're surrounded by people with no ambition, no discipline, no vision, you will absorb their reality." This isn't opinion. This is the law of association. And it's destroying you. I know what you're thinking right now. But they're my day ones. But we grew up together. But they were there for me when I had nothing. I get it. I had the same friends. The ones I grew up with. The ones who knew me before I had anything. And I loved them. But here's what I learned the hard way. Loyalty to people who are dragging you down is just self-sabotage with a noble name. And it almost cost me everything. Let me tell you how this works. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't motivational bullshit. This is sociology. This is psychology. This is observable reality. Your income will be roughly the average of your 5 closest friends. Your health will mirror theirs. Your habits, your beliefs, your standards, they all converge toward the mean of your social circle. You think you're an individual making your own choices. You're not. You're a product of your environment, and your environment is your people. So let's do the math. Pull out your phone right now. Look at your 5 most texted contacts, your 5 most frequent hangouts. Now ask yourself, are these people where you want to be in 5 years? Are they working on themselves? Are they building something? Are they disciplined? Are they growing? Or are they complaining, drinking, scrolling, blaming, and staying exactly where they've always been? If you're honest, you already know the answer. And that answer is why you're not where you want to be. Because every hour you spend with them is an hour you're not spending becoming who you need to become. Every conversation about nothing is a conversation you're not having with someone who could change your life. Every time you lower your standards to match theirs, you're killing your future self. Here's the part that hurts. Your friends don't even know they're doing this to you. They're not evil. They're not malicious. They genuinely care about you. But they're also threatened by your growth. Because your growth is a mirror reflecting their stagnation. When you start working out, they say you're obsessed. When you start reading, they say you're being boring. When you start building a business, they say you're changing. And they're right. You are changing. And that terrifies them, because if you can change, it means they could too, and they don't want to. So they pull you back down, not consciously, but consistent. Machiavelli called this the infection of the unhappy and unlucky. He warned princes to avoid associating with people who are plagued by misfortune. Not because those people are bad, but because their energy, their mindset, their patterns are contagious. You sit with someone who complains for an hour. You leave that conversation heavier. You spend time with someone who makes excuses. You start making excuses. You hang out with people who have given up. You start giving up. It's not a choice. It's osmosis. Think about the last time you hung out with your friends. What did you talk about? Sports? Drama? Who's dating who? The latest TV show? Gossip? Complaining about work? And at the end of the night, what did you gain? A hangover, a lighter wallet, and hours you'll never get back. Compare that to spending an evening reading a book that changes your perspective, or working on a skill that increases your income, or having a deep conversation with a mentor who's 10 steps ahead of you. The difference is not subtle. It's life-altering. But here's where it gets darker. Your friends will actively sabotage your success. Not with knives, with concern, with love, with loyalty. They'll tell you your goals are unrealistic. They'll tell you you're working too hard. They'll tell you you're missing out on life, and they'll frame it as caring. I just don't want you to be disappointed. I just want you to be happy. What they really mean is, I'm uncomfortable with the gap growing between us. Stay down here with me. Let me give you a specific example. You decide to stop drinking, not because you have a problem, but because you realize alcohol is slowing you down, costing you money, and you have bigger goals. You tell your friends. What happens? They take it personally. Come on, one drink won't hurt. You're being too serious. Don't be boring. They pressure you. They mock you. They make you feel like you're the problem. Why? Because your sobriety forces them to confront their own drinking. Your discipline exposes their lack of it, and instead of rising to your level, they try to drag you back to theirs. This is the crab bucket. You've seen it. You put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and if one tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. Not because they're evil crabs, because that's the nature of the bucket. Your social circle is the bucket, and every time you try to climb out, to level up, to break free, they grab you. Not maliciously, instinctively. So what do? You have 3 options. Option 1, stay in the bucket. Keep the friends. Stay comfortable. Stay loyal. And stay exactly where you are for the rest of your life. Die with the same people you started with, having accomplished nothing significant. This is what most people choose, because it's safe, because it's easy, because change is terrifying. Option 2, try to bring them with you. Inspire them, motivate them, show them what's possible. I tried this. I spent years trying to pull my friends up. I shared books, I shared opportunities. I tried to get them excited about building something. And you know what happened? Nothing, because you cannot want it more than they do. You cannot force someone to grow. They have to want it, and most people don't. They're comfortable being mediocre. So you waste your energy, your time, and your potential trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Option 3, leave. Cut them off. Not with drama, not with announcements. Just slowly, strategically distance yourself. Stop accepting the invites. Stop initiating the hangouts. Let the relationships fade and replace them. Upgrade your circle. Find people who are ahead of you. People who intimidate you a little. People who make you feel like you need to level up just to keep up with the conversation. This option is lonely. It's painful. It feels like betrayal, but it's the only option that actually worked. Machiavelli was ruthless about this. He advised princes to be extremely careful about who they allowed close to them. He said that weak advisors make a prince look weak. Incompetent associates make you look incompetent. Broke friends keep you broke, not because they steal your money, but because they normalize poverty. They make struggling seem acceptable. They make excuses seem reasonable. And slowly, without you even noticing, you adopt their reality. Here's the test. Look at your 5 closest friends. Add up their annual incomes. Divide by 5. That number is probably very close to your income. If it's not, it will be soon. Because you will either rise to their level or they will pull you to theirs. And statistically, pulling down is easier than climbing up. Gravity works, so unless you are exceptionally strong-willed, which most people are not, you will regress to the mean of your circle. The same applies to health. If your friends are overweight, you will likely be overweight. If they eat garbage, you'll eat garbage. If they don't work out, you won't work out. because humans are social creatures. We mirror the behavior of our tribe. It's evolutionary. When the tribe eats, you eat. When the tribe rests, you rest. When the tribe gives up, you give up. This kept us alive for thousands of years. But in the modern world, it keeps you mediocre. Now let's talk about the emotional cost, because this is where most people break. Cutting off your friends feels like cutting off a part of yourself. These are people who know your history, who were there during hard times, who you've shared memories with. And now you're supposed to just walk away? It feels cold. It feels wrong. It feels like you're the bad guy. But here's the reframing. Staying in a relationship out of guilt is not loyalty. It's cowardice. You're afraid of being alone. You're afraid of being judged. You're afraid they'll call you fake or say you changed. So you sacrifice your dreams to avoid that discomfort. That's not noble. That's weak. Machiavelli would tell you that a prince must be willing to be hated, if necessary, because sometimes doing the right thing for your future means disappointing people in your present. And here's what's going to happen when you make this shift. You're going to lose people. Friends who you thought were ride or die will disappear. They'll stop calling. They'll talk shit about you behind your back. They'll say you think you're better than them, and it's going to hurt. But pay attention to who stays. Pay attention to who supports your growth, even when it makes them uncomfortable. Those are your real friends, the ones who are happy when you win, even if they're not winning yet. Those are rare, and those are the ones worth keeping. The rest? They were never your friends. They were your comfort, your distraction, your excuse. And you don't need any of those things anymore. Let me give you the strategic approach to this. You don't need to burn bridges. You don't need to have a dramatic breakup conversation. You just need to become unavailable. You're busy building. You're busy working. You're busy improving. You don't have time for 3-hour hangouts that go nowhere. You don't have time for drama. You don't have time for gossip. And when they realize you're serious, one of two things will happen. They'll either respect it and give you space, or they'll get offended and distance themselves. Either way, simultaneously, you need to upgrade. You need to put yourself in rooms with people who are better than you. Join a mastermind. Join a gym where serious people train. Go to events where successful people network. Read books and join online communities of people who are on the path you want to be on. At first, you'll feel like an imposter, like you don't belong. Good. That discomfort is growth. That's you stretching beyond your current identity. And over time, something incredible happens. You start to absorb their standards, their work ethic, their vocabulary, their mindset. You start to see what's possible because you're surrounded by people who are already doing it. And suddenly, the things that seemed impossible start to seem inevitable. Not because you got smarter, but because you changed your reference group. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold. But boldness is not about taking risks. It's about making hard decisions. And the hardest decision you'll ever make is choosing your future over your past. Choosing who you're becoming over who you've been. Choosing the discomfort of growth over the comfort of stagnation. Your childhood friends are not bad people, but they are anchors, and an anchor keeps you safe in the harbor. But ships are not made for harbors. They're made for the open sea. And if you want to sail, you have to cut the anchor, not out of hate, out of necessity. I'll leave you with this. 5 years from now, you will be in one of two places. You'll either be exactly where you are now, surrounded by the same people, having the same conversations, making the same money, living the same life. Or you'll be somewhere completely different, financially free, physically strong, mentally sharp, surrounded by people who elevate you, living a life that your current friends said was impossible. The only difference between those two futures is the decision you make today. Do you stay loyal to people who are going nowhere, or do you become loyal to the person you're trying to become? Machiavelli chose power over popularity. He chose truth over comfort. He chose the future over the past. And because of that, he's remembered 500 years later. Your friends, they'll forget about you the moment you stop being useful to their ego. Subscribe if you're ready to cut the dead weight. Not because you hate anyone, but because you love your future more than you fear being alone.